G'day, this is Shane from SEQ Campers on the Sunshine Coast, and what we have is a pre-loved caravan, and we're doing a handover video for this fellow on the other side of the country so he can watch this and learn all about his caravan, what he's got, and it's also going to work for a lot of you guys out there that really will learn some things. A 2021 Kimberley Caravan with a 12-volt battery system. So lots of tricks and tips here in this video that'll cover everything from really 2011 right up to 2021 where we've got a 12-volt system. So please enjoy, watch this video, and it does help us a lot if you can like our videos. Once you click like, that's great, but the subscribe is the ultimate for us. Just by hitting subscribe, we can do more content like this, and you'll see our latest and next videos. So please hit subscribe and make SEQ Campers part of your entertainment in our video series on the Kimberleys and Stockmans. Right here at the beginning, what we've got is a McHitch. So this is us, the McHitch goes through, you're gonna take the ball off your vehicle, put this on here. Now if you can't get the tongue of your vehicle in there, you've got to loosen these screws. So if you've got a really narrow tongue, take that out, flip it over, make it tight. If it's a really wide tongue, undo that, widen it up, and that's how you do a McHitch. This guy on the tongue of your vehicle, bang, when this hooks up, it's going to go, the handle goes up, make sure it drops down, and then the pin goes through. That's how we set it up for the vehicle. Please remember to cross your chains. What we have on there is a wire. You're gonna see this wire. Generally, we have it on a D-shackle or somewhere there. It's for a breakaway. Ready for some noise? I pulled out the breakaway. I can put it back in. That's in case anything falls off, it puts on the brakes. I don't mind testing that. If I ever not sure if my brakes are working, I can pull the brake away. That'll actuate the brakes and that'll make that work. Hydrostar brake controller, brake fluid in there, electric over hydraulic. What that means is that there's hydraulic fluid in here. To put the handbrake on, I'm going to have to lock that fluid up. So in line, looking here, if I'm pointing with the car, I can drive. Pointing with the car, this moves around, bang, brakes on, can't move it. Moves around, brakes on, can't move it. Push it a little bit, stop it. I've arrived at camp. The first thing I do is pull up, put pressure or make noise in the brakes, and lock that pressure off while I'm making noise. That is not gonna move, and that is not gonna go anywhere. If you ever drive away, I say that your car won't tow it, but if you drive away and it's 3,000 or 4,000 revs just to get out the driveway, you've left your brakes on. Straight, release the pressure, in line means my brake fluid goes back and forth. We talk about the jockey wheel here. The handle comes off. There's a few tips. This one goes up and down with the jockey wheel so we can adjust it. Maybe watch another video to see that. It swings out of the way for that jockey wheel. We talk about the 12-volt system. Now here we go, 2021. We have a light in the front box. So remember, there's a little click light up there. In this one, we've got 200 amps of lithium batteries. We don't know what batteries are in there, so please check one of your apps, check and find that battery. So for right now, Enerdrive or a Kimberley app, we'll get into there. And what we're also gonna do is we're gonna jump on to the Kimberley Campers website, click on owners and download the digital manual for this unit. That'll have all the QR codes for your apps. So make sure on the Kimberley website, go to owners, there's your manual. That's the best way to do it. There's no physical manual in here. 200 amp battery, check the app. Enerdrive is our charging. This is called DC-DC charging. What it means is the Anderson plug is a 50 amp Anderson plug. There's no power there. I can't run a fridge, no power there. It's only set up, plug into the car. This will light up, start the car, and look at how many amps, A for amps, is going through there. Voltage is fine, but it's A for amps that we are spending when we go camping. Now what we do there also on a trailer plug, This is set up on a previous vehicle. We're gonna ask you as a handover, can we change this plug to suit your vehicle? That'll be a call that we make on this one. This one has not been through the workshop yet. It's ready to go out after we do all these little detail, fine things at SEQ Campers. Anderson plug is charging there. All of a sudden you find there's another Anderson plug on the body. If it's a red Anderson plug or a gray Anderson plug, but if it's here, it's connected to this, and it's for portable panels or solar panels, a blanket portable that's then gonna make this light up and charge the batteries. This is only for portable. We've got a solar regulator inside that's on the roof, so we're charging from the roof solar and a vehicle at the same time. Look at your app when you have both running. We've then got power here, so resettable fuses, shut off power here. Don't have that off very often unless I really need to. What we have here is compressor. Onboard compressor with our little gauge here. We do power on, and then we have these in the open position. That allows me to go up and down. Allows me to go up and down, left and right on this. So easy stickers up and down, open. I've now finished leveling off. I'm then going to close my valves, turn my power off, and when I'm camping or driving, that is off and closed. I arrive at camp, I open, turn on. I'll let that run for a minute, and what I'm gonna do there, it's gonna charge up the holding tank, and then we can go left or right. We'll see the numbers on here if you wanna come in. It's now held pressure. These numbers don't have to be the same. We are doing a visual check on these two, but they are a good guide. Over 60 PSI, up to 80 PSI, somewhere in between is gonna be our right travel height. When we're leveling, we can level right down to 5 or 0 and right up to 90 or 100. Left and right, 120 mil difference. Please do not drive with 100 PSI, and please do not drive under 40 or 50 PSI. That's when you damage an airbag at low or high. In that middle, 60 to 80 PSI is our sweet spot, but it's a visual check that we're gonna do. The big one there also is that they have a burst pressure of 200 PSI. So don't be afraid that we're using that leveling. There's a lot of strength in those airbags, compressor, and our controllers. That's our front box here. We can store generator. There's an open vent if we have petrol in here. So if you see that you're letting dust in here and you have petrol, you maybe want to put a bit of filter or gauze or something over that. But if there's no petrol in here, then you could maybe seal that up with a little bit something else that is vented for the charger here. We've got an extra walk burner. We've got some extra gas lines in there. When I close this up, big thing is push down in the middle. By pushing down in the middle, I'm not gonna twist the box. Also, I'm gonna push down in the middle and hook it underneath and latch it up. The reason that was so hard to push, my firewood rack or my luggage rack is empty. So put some water, put some boxes, put some firewood, put some canvas mats. That'll make it easier to close. We're working across here. We've got 2 gas bottles here. They're easy to remove. We've got 2 cookers. Our cooker here will run a gas line, twist it in, quick connect. It will reach this first gas stove. But what we do have here is a chance to take the other gas bottle, put it over here or with a table and set up the other cooker. Sizzler cooker here. Just remember when we open this up, it is removable and you can put a pot in on there and a grease tray, right? Check out some other videos we have. When we put this guy away, again, click, all the way in, locked in, and then yellow down. Do not hold them down. If I hold that down and pull out, it's gonna pull right off, drop on the ground. So just click, all the way out till it clicks and locks in. We've got storage in here, and again, we have a light. So rubber button, a little bit of an orange light, and a little bit of a white light. 2 buttons there. Make sure you turn that off when you're finished. That's it there. We've got a shelf here. Oh, look at this. This is the little sizzler bonus. It's got a little tray made for it here. Look at that, doing a bit of roast. So this is a couple of bonuses that you get with some of the pre-loved ones. Great shelf in there. Hot and cold water. We've got a merit plug. So these are the little small PowerPoint plugs. And then we've got USB. Long foil in there, camping knives, cutlery, all in here. We're gonna take this little guy, caravan guy, put that away. And what we're doing here, close this up. And it's got the 2 yellow latches here. So we'll put those 2 down, all the way in. When I close this up, what I'm doing here, it closes up and I wanna make sure that it's flush. That doesn't have any bumps or anything sticking out. It's just nice and flush. This one also has the 30th anniversary or the remote reservoir shocks. There are numbers on there. Watch the other videos. It goes from 8 for high speed down to 3 or 4 for corrugation. So the higher the speed, the faster we're going, have the higher number turned up. Corrugation off-road, you can turn it down. This is an extra toolbox, great for pegs and ropes. And here we go. This is a look at this side of the Kimberley Caravan. And this is on your handover video. Let's check out the back. What we've got in the back, again, a little click button, we can light up our back boot. This does have a key. It is lockable back here, so we can push the button, unlock that, drop this open. Our big trick is if we're running heating or cooling, what we can do here is make sure that this is closed when we're running heating or cooling, and it will keep any of the outside temperatures coming in or out. So when I'm finished, make sure you close that up at night or when camping. We've got a panel here with a very easy twist out plug. What we're gonna do with that twist out pin is we're going to remove that and we can access our solar regulator, we're gonna access our battery charger and all our fuses. So that's access there to our panels for the back here, as well as our up and down and our hot water system. Another one of our hot topics is the water system. So we have an outside shower here, connect any garden hose, any type shower fitting to the back here. In the middle is warm, this is hot, and this is extremely hot. So that's water out where it says shower. The top one we call VisiFlow. This is water in. I can connect mains park, water, like water connected to anything, but I can also pump from a creek or pump from a drum of water. So a 20-liter drum of water is the best way with a 1-meter hose. A creek's a bit far away, mains pressure is fine. I want to connect to this, so I am now turning off my water tank. I'm not going to shower from my tank, I'm going to shower from here. By doing that, I'm going to turn off my water tank with this bottom gauge. Now there's no water going into the system. I want the water coming from here. So I turn this on, in line, and that's now opening up this valve. This is the only place I'm gonna get my hot water taps or my shower water from. So I've now finished at the caravan park. I've finished with outside water. I'm not showering from them anymore. I now have to turn this one off so it doesn't suck any air from here. And I turn this back on. I'm now bush camping, free camping. I have water in the tank and I'm pumping from the tank to get my hot water or any shower water. That's the VisiFlow on the Caravan. Talking about power, one of these power points we plug in. It's a 15 amp lead to plug in. We have then one that comes out. When I plug in mains, I have an extra power point here that I could use in the outside kitchen. Now, depending on the inverter, this one most likely has a 2,600 watt inverter. When that's turned on, every power point is live off the batteries that I can run a coffee machine or a kettle outside here on an outside power point or any of the inside cabin power points off the batteries by having my inverter turned on. Kimberley Caravan, keys and remotes. So don't get overwhelmed. There is a few keys here, but really easy to remember by these few tips from SEQ Campers and Shane and Maud up here on the coast. So let's look at this pile of keys. Let's talk first about Caravan up and down. There's 3 ways to put the Caravan up and down. Turn on the power, push the button at the back, a rocker switch, Caravan goes up, down, all good. The second way is that we do have a remote control for that Caravan. It's got my little KK logo, slide it down. I can push the Caravan up and down as long as the power is on with my remote control. The third way is I remove my license plate. So we'll take the license plate, and this has an actuator in it. I then use the leg or the handle that I use for winding legs up. I could stick it in there, take this Allen key, and I can physically wind the Caravan up and down using the actuator, no battery, and I can wind it up and down if I'm ever stuck, something's happened. Those are how we go up and down. Let's talk about airbags. We've got an airbag remote control. So what happens here? I can do the airbags like you saw, up and down with the levers. I can take my portable compressor, plug it into the front like a normal bike valve, and I can go airbags with my own compressor. As long as it's on, I can then also use a remote control. So I can see that I've done a little bit of leveling before, and this is your remote control. We only have 1 remote control for the airbag system. We have 2 remote controls for going up and down. Let's see our keys here. I've got a square drive key for my travel locks. This is my triangle. I've got travel locks up here, these big guys up here. That's what I want to use. Make sure you lock the inside and the outside doors when it's all packed up traveling. I have a specialty key here for my passageway lock. So I'm going to unlock my travel lock. And then I have like a beetle latch here. This beetle latch can be opened from the inside with my thumb. It can be locked from the inside with the little passage. But then I have a little specialty key for my beetle latch that I can lock this from the outside as well with my key. That's my passageway lock using that guy there. So that's great for when I go away during the day, I can lock it up. Now the third, and let's go with the rest of the keys here. Passageway lock. What other keys are on here? Oh, they must be on another set there, but generally we're gonna have 2 sets of keys for my water tanks. They're gonna be a little gold key, that gold key for my 2 water tanks. We're gonna have a little round key. We saw the pressure lock at the back, so round key is for my round button for the pressure lock of the boot. That's my little round key. And then I'm gonna have a little suitcase type key, little tiny key that I can use here to lock these outside pressure locks there. That's the extent of our keys. As you can see, they've got some padlock keys. So a padlock on that front box, padlocks there to hold in the gas bottles. Those are some of the other keys I might get to go with my Caravan. That was a look at our keys and remotes for the Kimberley Caravan. Inside, let's do lights, cooling, heating. Inside, we've got 1 light here for all my lights. I can turn that off. And then I've got lights here, which is my cool lights there. So that's it. I've got 2 switches here for the outside light, yellow and white. And look at that, I've got a merit plug as well up there. Now on the fan side of things, what we have here is a customer has done their own high magnets there. They've put a bit of steel on there, and then all of a sudden, bang, I've got that merit plug here, merit plug there, and I can go ahead and put that guy on. Now this, I guess, is a little bit of an idea that I can put that on, and then I can put this away. So it's just looking after maintaining this Sirocco fan a little bit better. It does go the different ways. 1, 2, 3 is my fan, and I've got some timers there. Air conditioning. Now it's isolated with a circuit breaker, but this white switch here, if you say, why doesn't my aircon work? It's probably because this switch is not turned on. That's an isolator for this aircon here. Now I can do it touch or grab the remote. That's my aircon here. Now what else do we have in here? We've got lights at the back. So probably just talking about this, I've got an underbed membrane here. So I've got 2 power cords. One of them, merit plug, is my reading lights. One of them here is my underbed membrane. What would I do with the underbed membrane? Well, I'd only use it if I was driving, had lots of power, because that underbed membrane uses as much power as a fridge. So what we're gonna do is have that on when I know I'm driving the next day, I'm plugged in at a caravan park, go ahead and use it. It's just gonna eliminate any cold coming up through the back floor there as well. It's got the mattress here. Please remember, only one blanket on the mattress. More than one blanket, we're gonna put it on the back of the seat, and we're gonna put our pillows on the back of the seat as well. That's a bit of a guide there. Now we've got lights under the bench here as well, so let's flip around and have a look at those. Let's talk about this. The positive pressure vent. So even in my classic 2006 Caravan, you're gonna see a vent here with a lawnmower filter inside it. That lawnmower filter wants to get emptied every 1,000 kilometers. Sometimes I don't explain it enough to people that they say, why is it not working anymore? I've never actually emptied that filter ever. So what we're gonna do here is this filter in the newer units is a fan or a pressure, not for idle conversation, but you turn that on when it's in the down, all packed up, it builds up pressure and pushes pressure out there. It's called a low speed fan because it's always gonna work when I'm driving 60 kilometers an hour. But when I drop down to really slow, dusty conditions, that's why I want this on. I've done a day of dust. You've got to unclip it. Oh, let's see if we can find some dust in here today with these guys. Unclip it here. I've done this before. I can see the red dirt up there, and I'm gonna take this guy out and I'm gonna then blow that out. Now you can carry extra filters. I have a compressor that I'm gonna blow that out, and they're pretty good, but they're not expensive. Buy them from any lawnmower shop. I'm gonna then put that guy back in there, and I can see the red dust up through the vent, but it's looking pretty good here. And then I'm gonna clip that guy back on. You've got to push in and just make sure it's got behind that tab, lock it on, high pressure, posi vent for dusty conditions. Change your filter. That was us there. Looking on to our other fans here, just remember it's a plastic handle, so open and close through there. When I wanna run this in, I can blow fresh air in. I can turn the air quite low as well, just circulate some air. Go back to off. I'm now gonna put out, and I can suck out the steam. 1, 2, 3. By having both those fans running out, I'm opening my windows, pulling fresh air in over the bed. Oh my, it works so well. Have these guys here running, sucking the air out, and going with the fantastic fans up here, 2 vents. That's a little bit of our tip. Make sure you close them. Make sure you follow the guides on the setup and close, and watch some of our other videos. This last one here of our top things to learn about your handover really is our power. Let's have a look at the dash. We're into our dash of a 2021. Really, bench lights are quite bright. They make all the cupboards look good. Water pumps are on when I need water, off when I go to sleep, off for traveling. One pump is only cold water. One pump is hot water, general water, VisiFlow water, my big pump there. Little 12-volt plug there, some vents. But in this screen, this is what people don't always understand, is that you do have to look at this screen once in a while when you're camping. My pro tip here is that we are using amps for traveling. So right now we've got here showing 100%. I don't always believe 100%. The technology, the software, it's just counting numbers. So let's try and count them ourselves. There's no touch screen. I just touch the down arrow. It lights it up. I'm going to touch that down to my next screen. So right here, voltage is a great indicator to see what I am using, what I am doing. But beside that is A for amps. So right now, I'm just going to check my next screen. I've got all these different amps. Nothing's turned on right now. We're going to go and check our water tanks, and we've got some temperature stuff there. We've scrolled through it. A barometer is just for bad weather coming. It might show up on the barometer. What we have here is really, we want to go through and check the amps. As I turn things on, I'm going to see some of these amps change, and I'm using power there. We're plugged in right now, but I just want you to know voltage is a good indicator. but amps is the counter that I want. So when I run the cooktop, I'm going to be using the cooktop and using a bucket load of amps for diesel hot water or diesel glow plugs. When I have voltage, 13 volts is good on a lithium battery. 13 volts is full, 12.9 volts is full. 12.5 volts ends up being about 50%, and 12.0 volts, if I see that on there, once I get down to 12.0 volts, doesn't matter the percentage, I know that I'm getting low. I'll have to start my car, run a generator, or get it out in the sun. So either one of those is really good. Now, if it's hard to see the amps on there, we might end up using the battery app on the battery. It's always a good example of what we have going and what we have running. Now, on this one here, I am using the Kimberley battery app. And right now, what I'm going to do is I've just opened up the battery app. This is my battery here. I go from battery. So let's just pretend I found my battery. I've got my battery by the VIN number here. I've touched that battery on site. It's showing me my percentage. It's giving me a bit more accurate at 97%. I touch the second one, and then I can actually see how many amps are coming out of the battery when I'm running that. And we can see those numbers going up and down. Now, right now, my charger does seem to offset floating all my amps, but using that as a counter, using that as a guide, the phone on the app is always a good indicator just to make sure that we know this is working right. There is an app for the Cymarine, but the app is a little bit more temperamental, being that it's through a Wi-Fi. Watch another video or download the manual on how to connect this. This guy, we've got two ways to check. Please check it when you're traveling. Please check it in the morning after you've been camping overnight. Just moving across here, I've got power points that run off this inverter. So my power points are here. I also have power points that are going to be inside here in case I did have a microwave. These power points work when I turn my inverter on. Power up my inverter. A long press is showing me the voltage in the battery. These power points all now work. Now, when I'm finished using these, I want to save power bush camping, so please turn the power off. The biggest thing that happens is I've plugged in a coffee machine and an air fryer and a kettle and a microwave. I've run everything there. This is my biggest call that everyone has. They've said, Shane, my kettle stopped working, my air fryer, my induction has stopped working. This guy here is my 2,600 watt inverter. And what has happened, too many appliances have tripped it, and there is a circuit breaker on the very end of this unit here. So that circuit breaker is down here. Because we've mounted it upside down, that circuit breaker, for it to be on, is pointing down. If I don't have any power at any of my 240 plugs, please check this drop switch here. It's the #1 reason why my power points don't work. The front of our caravan. Now we can put stuff here. They put some custom things. We've got the swing away toilet. We've got mounting here for our curtain that comes down. This swings out of the way, and this does become quite a nice little shower area. Storing things under there, really good. Watch one of our videos, composting toilet and how that works. Up here, we do have a Wi-Fi booster system. So it needs a SIM card, like a Telstra SIM that goes in an iPad would work. That's there with a high gain aerial on top. We have a bracket for our TV, so it's stored in a bag under the small seat. Great spot to put our little TV, or the bag can be Velcroed to the back of the seat if we don't have room. That TV is gonna go into here. We've got power for the TV, USBs, and that's a great one. Look at that, little bags to hold our remote controls, air conditioning, TV, all in there. That's how it hangs in there for our TV, media, and that's a look. Remember to pack away the TV, pack away these items before you drop everything down. With our shower screen, please, big one, remember to pack away our shower screen. Privacy for the toilet doesn't need to be used for the shower, but that wants to be clicked back before we pack away. Follow the guide that's on the door. That is our greatest tips here from SEQ Campers. And this is a really little video on a handover for us selling a secondhand unit and sending it across the country. So hope you enjoy your new van, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to give you tips and tricks every week with something new and fun. Thank you from SEQ Campers and the team here on the Sunshine Coast.